Football, but not in the NFL. Montreal Alouettes owner Nelson Scalbania had Allen with him at today's CFL annual meeting in Toronto and has called a news conference for tomorrow in Montreal. Allen will probably become president and general manager. One of the biggest wins in BC basketball history last night, 80-71 over the 13th ranked team in the country, Georgetown. It was a case of a vigorous effort by the Eagles against a team with excellent personnel, including, most of all, the man who had made a ticket to the game almost an impossibility. I'm talking about former Cambridge Rindge and Latin 7-foot star Patrick Ewing. Clark Booth has a report.
A microscopic focus rivets constantly on Patrick Ewing, but the intensity of it was bound to be greatest in his own backyard. Ewing's return with nationally ranked Georgetown was as much a trial as an event, so it was a bit of a cauldron that he walked into.
It's tough on a young kid coming back and, you know, things are in the paper and you're concerned about how you're going to look before the hometown people. And I was sort of worried about that, too. So I'm always glad when the first is over. You know, so now the first is over. The first homecoming, the first this and the first that. He's been having more firsts this year than any man in America.
Fierce BC partisans were stoked the more by the sure knowledge that Patrick had spurned them a year ago. The players would later say that had nothing to do with anything. And yet it's a fact that they chose this occasion to play the game of their young lives, and that hardly seemed coincidental. While an implacable presence on defense, Ewing did not seem to figure much in Georgetown's offense, which seemed odd.
Well, I think John's philosophy is, and I would concur with that, is to go with 5 guys, not just go to one guy and be a 5-dimensional team. Go to Sleepy Floyd or to Anthony Jones, because he's got so many great players. So, no, I'm not. I think that that's more in line with what they're thinking. They don't want to just go to him as a one-man show, but rather spread the offense around.
About the time John Begley first slithered through the entire Georgetown brigade, the BC sensed the possibilities of the occasion. They bolted to a lead that wavered between 9 and 16 most of the night, and when the pace heightened, it was Georgetown that panicked. Patience is what won it for BC, and if they all played well, the most electrifying effort came from tiny Michael Adams. Hitherto unknown, Michael Adams was the flashiest freshman on the floor on this evening. It may not have been personal, but a lot of folks here got a big kick out of Pat Ewing's homecoming.
Maybe the fans felt that way. I don't think the players felt that way. You know, Georgetown-BC is a good rivalry anyway. I don't think the players felt that way.
In the end, Ewing's stats looked much more impressive than they were. He had 6 boards and 2 blocks to go with 23 points, but too many of them came when school was out. Angry stuffs fueled by the youngsters' very deep frustration.
I didn't feel that any of us played so well that we're going to go home and brag about it when we lose a basketball game. But I think he did the best he could. He did better than I thought he would do up here.
We ran really intelligent offense. We got the fast break. Didn't have it. We ran the offense. You couldn't ask that team to do much more than what they did. I was very, very proud of the way they executed the entire game.
Ewing will have his nights, and they may become near countless. But this one was BC's, and it was powerfully pleasing. Clark Booth, Sports Center 5.
Also locally last night, BU lost a 2-pointer to Canadian